So we live together.
Yep.
We watch football together.
Yep.
We talk about football together.
Yep.
Why don't we just start a podcast?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Eye Test. It's myself, Lyés, and my guy, CultureCams. We're back for another week of the Eye Test. Got a lot of big talking points around Europe to get into, and none bigger than breaking news at the time of recording. Zubimendi of Real Sociedad rumored to be joining Arsenal at the end of the season. Now, this comes off the back of a few disappointing results. It's been a tough week for Arsenal. This is maybe like a ray of sunshine for them to kind of get over the exit from the FA Cup. It looks like they might be out of the Carabao Cup. Cam, where do you sit on this one? Because it really came out of nowhere, to be honest with you. I didn't see this one coming. He was linked all summer to Liverpool. He himself actually backed out of that, saying he wanted to stay at Sociedad. And just a few months later, I guess that decision was the wrong one for him, because now he wants to come to the Premier League, and it looks like Arsenal. Where does it fit in? Do you think it's going to be a massive success? How do you see the signing working out?
You know, from a business point of view, I think it's good from Arsenal. You know what I mean? They're being proactive. You know what I mean? Because they probably knew if we wait until the summer, it could be a battle for it. Maybe 3-4 teams are going to come into it. The injury could happen to somebody's DM. All of a sudden, a Bayern Munich or somebody is in, and all of a sudden you're having a mad race for him. So they just got it done, said, do you know what? Even if it's a summer signing, we're going to lock that in now. They probably know that Partey, they're not going to give Partey a new contract. Jorginho, I don't think he's getting a new contract either. So they're letting two guys go. They're bringing in Zubimendi. So I think business-wise, it's very smart and very proactive from Arsenal. So if I was an Arsenal fan, I'll be at least encouraged that my team are trying to do something. Because at the moment, the big discussion and the big talking point right now is Cronkies are not active enough. Cronkies are not, getting involved. They're not doing enough. You know what I mean? We want Cronky out type stuff. So I think right now they'll be super encouraged about that. As you said, it's been a tough week. So that's good. Yeah. Signing wise, I'm not like, I'm seeing a lot of people are really excited by it and stuff, but I'm not too high on it. I'm not going to lie. I think he's a good player, but I think the buck stops there for me. You know what I mean? I think he's a good player. And, like the way I kind of saw a Jorginho, for example, coming from a Napoli, I thought good player. But the real boost for him was that he's going to be playing under Sarri. And, Sarri's going to have this system. And so I was like, oh, wow, it could be an amazing signing. But in the end, he just turned out to be a good Premier League player. And I kind of see the same for Zubimendi. I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't see it as a transformative player, no. And also, it gives me a feeling that Declan Rice is definitely now going to be Arsenal's one of their attacking eights. And I do think Declan Rice is, for me, he's a 6. But listen, Zubimendi comes in, and as I said, is proactive from Arsenal. But do I think it's a transformative signing? No, I don't. I look at him a lot like those 2010 kind of 6s. You know what I mean? When you used to have that kind of 6 that is very much like a metronome kind of player. But I think when you're looking at this modern Premier League, man, you need some proper athletes in there. Like if you are going to be that type of player, you're going to need to be big, you're going to need to be strong, or you're going to have to be very, very aggressive in your play. So if Zubimendi can add that to his game, amazing. But when I'm looking at it right now, brilliant Euros final, by the way. He changed the game. Brilliant Euros final. But when I'm looking at it, I'm just kind of like, good signing.
Let me play devil's advocate here. Because for the most part, I agree with your saying. I don't think it's going to be transformative. I don't think he's like a world. I think he's a very capable, very good defensive midfielder. And I also have similar concerns about the Rice, but we'll touch on that. Here's the devil's advocate for you. In the last year or so, you've actually seen Arteta with Arsenal. It almost feels like his ideal team when everyone is fit is Jorginho playing as a 6 with Rice slightly ahead. That's the impression I get. Almost like or Partey, but I've seen, you remember last year towards the tail end of the season where they went on that run, a lot of it was when Jorginho kind of came into the team and Rice was playing a bit more advanced. Now, obviously, that wasn't a long-term solution because Jorginho, fitness, age, he's not the same player he was a few years ago, but I do think Arteta, whether it's like revision because Rice didn't turn out what he wanted, that defensive midfielder, whether this was always his long-term plan, prefers kind of like you're saying, that metronomic tempo controlling midfielder at the 6 with Rice more advanced. Now, does Zubimendi almost give him a younger, fitter, slightly different, but very similar as well to Jorginho that he now has full time? Does that kind of like
Yeah.
a chance for him to go to that formula that he likes?
Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is. You know, like as you mentioned, their best form did come with Jorginho, Rice, and Odegaard. So if you're trying to replicate that in a way, I fully agree. Do you know? But everyone's different. You know, I mean, I look at Jorginho. I'm not saying Zubimendi isn't, but you know, Jorginho is a super thinker. He's a thinker of the game. He's a leader on the pitch in terms of where he wants people to be.
He's a manager on the pitch.
He's a coach on the pitch, exactly. But I still look at when I look at Jorginho, and I still think transitions you can get at him. You know what I mean? You can run past him. And I think it could be the same with Zubimendi, you know, when I'm looking at that team. So I think Rice is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes with Odegaard and Zubimendi. But if by profile, metronome, a freakish athlete, and a tempo advanced 10-ish, 8, whatever Odegaard's become, you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, nicely balanced midfield. But I don't know. I even for Liverpool, I didn't think he was a Liverpool signing. So when Liverpool didn't get him, I was like, I don't think Liverpool should be crying about it. I know when you're in a transfer market, you're like, you get fixated on that one person. We're United fans. All of a sudden, we'll be linked to some random guy, and all of a sudden, that's the only guy in the world that can play that position. Let's say, for example, Quenda right now. He's the only right wing back in the history of football right now. You know what I mean? So I do think Liverpool fans got obsessed. But when I look at it, I was like, nah, he doesn't give me Liverpool midfielder vibe. He does give me more Arsenal midfielder vibes, to be fair.
To be fair, you're talking about in the Premier League, you need physical midfielders, you need physical athletes around the pitch. I look at Arsenal, I'm like, yeah, you guys have that, to be fair. Maybe you guys do need more cute, like pass first, like technically secure players that can kind of play in the pockets, that can kind of split lines. Like, it's kind of crazy I'm saying this about Arsenal needing this because that used to, for 10, 15 years, that was literally their like, that was their mantra. Rosicky, Fabregas, Nasri. But maybe they do need to go that, because you look at the game at the weekend, you look at their last few performances, it's not for a lack of physicality that they're not winning these games. It's not for a lack of kind of like athletes on the pitch. They're missing some quality footballers in certain positions. But let's talk about Declan Rice for this one, right? Because we're hypothesizing a bit here, but you'd have to assume Zubimendi coming in is almost, again, like I said, replicating the Jorginho dynamic, where Declan Rice is going to continue playing more as this left 8. And you even saw it at the weekend. The weekend against Man United. The positions on the pitch that he's taking up, he's finding himself on the ends of chances. Declan Rice is playing a totally different game to what we see at England and what we saw at West Ham. But my thing is, right, I think Declan Rice is a brilliant player. I think Declan Rice comes under a lot of criticism at times because he's not the prototypical defensive midfielder that people envision their team wanting, because he's not a Busquets or a Rodri. But I always say players have different roles. Players execute different commands. Like Declan Rice doesn't do what Busquets did, but he does certain things that a defensive midfielder can definitely thrive on. And like, bro, in terms of ball winning, in terms of ball carrying, he's adding set pieces to his game. But that's all at defensive midfield. At the number 8 position, I think he's a good player. I think he's a useful player. But is he a player you spend 110 million pounds? Is Declan Rice, if he was on the market as an 8, a player that you spend 110 million pounds on? I don't think he is. Like, and they have him now, so that conversation's kind of out the door. But was this always the plan for him to play as more of a left-sided 8? Like, and if that's the case, did you need to spend 110 million pounds on that? Like, could you have not found someone better than Rice at the left 8 position for less money than you bought Declan Rice for?
It's interesting. It's interesting to see how they're gonna use him, because you actually I'm seeing some people say that maybe Zubimendi is gonna be the one that's a little bit advanced, but I'm like, it doesn't really give me the vibe that he's
maybe
really
a double pivot. That's the only thing.
Now, if it's a double pivot, I think that could be good, because when you look at Declan Rice at West Ham, he wasn't a 6. He was in a pivot. That's what he was in double pivot.
All action,
obviously,
basically.
he was the more defensive one. You know, you had Thomas Souček flying forward and
false 9,
turning into Fellaini. Yeah. If it's a pivot, I think it can work. I think it can work pretty well. But that means Odegaard. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying, is Odegaard a 10?
Odegaard has to have crazy creative license on him. And it doesn't look like he's that kind of player, if you want to say that.
There we go. So it's kind of like really on Arteta to make this midfield work. Because, as you said, if it's a pivot, I think that suits Declan Rice. I think that will suit Zubimendi, for example. But then Odegaard might be you bit questioning that. Then now, if you play the 3, you play Zubimendi in the 6, you play Declan Rice in the 8, you're saying, is he an attacking midfielder in that mold? You're having question marks. So Arteta's really got to find out what his strongest, not even strongest 3, how that 3 looks That's what Arteta's going to have to decide. So when I'm looking at, I think, as you mentioned, with Declan Rice in the 6, for me, yeah, he's not Busquets, as you mentioned, or whatever. But for me, he's the ultimate protection. He's the ultimate safety for your fullbacks to go forward, for your 2 people in front of him to go forward. But again, as I said, he was in a pivot at West Ham. It wasn't just a lone 6. England is a lone 6. But even then, you saw You saw how when he was playing with Kobbie Mainoo is free to do what he wanted to do because Declan Rice is there. So I look at him, you're looking at one of the freakish athletes in the Premier League, in my opinion, in terms of covering ground and stuff. I always say, you've got a safety net there. You've got Gabriel, you've got Saliba, you've got Declan Rice.
That's the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, as they say, the Bermuda Triangle. And then them 3 stop counters, it's hard to get at them in open space. So then I'm like, get some advanced 8s and go crazy. But
no, let me make this very clear. Declan Rice for me is £100 million plus defensive midfielder. I completely agree with you. But at that 8 position, and you know what? Like I asked you, was this always the plan? I don't think it was the plan because Cam, let's not forget they bought Kai Havertz for that advanced midfielder role at one point. When Kai Havertz came to Arsenal, his first 10, 15 games wasn't as a center forward. It was as that advanced 8. It was an experiment that Arteta was running, and it ultimately failed. So that's why he moved him back up front, and then he had a really good vein of form. But Arteta's mindset wasn't to have Kai Havertz as a center forward. I mean, maybe it was, but that's not the way he executed him for 15 to 20 games. I almost feel like he's adapting on the fly. Like, okay, this didn't work out, so we're going to bring him in. But I'm with you, man. I mean, we definitely agree it's not transformative. I think it's quality, and you can never do without, like, you can always add quality. That's always a great thing.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it an upgrade on Partey and Jorginho at their best?
At their best, but the thing is neither of them are at their best.
But Partey this season, to start the season, was really good, I think. Is it better than what Partey gave Arsenal maybe in their first 15 games or something like that?
It's different. I'm not a huge fan of Partey. Like, for me, I my friend Abs, we know Abs, he really likes Partey's game. And I understand why, because he's good at turning out of pressure, he splits lines and stuff like that. But I think for that position, at times, he's almost too risky. I feel like Thomas Partey always wants to turn on the half turn and play that line splitting pass. And as a defensive midfielder, that pass isn't always on. And it's not always the best pass either. And then in transition, well, we can talk about Jorginho, we can talk about Zubimendi. Partey, you would think, is a more athletic guy than both of them, but he gets killed in transition. Bro, you leave that guy on an island, he's cooked. So would I rather have Zubimendi or Thomas Partey? I haven't seen as much of Zubimendi as I've seen of Partey, but at this current moment, I think Zubimendi is the better fit. And then Jorginho, yes, Jorginho at his absolute best, I think is a better version of Zubimendi, but at his current age of 34 years old, plus the availability factor, I would rather have Zubimendi. I think he's an upgrade on both of them at this current moment, But cool. my thing is, this is a nice signing. I think Arsenal fans should be happy about it. I think they should be excited about it. But job better not be finished, man. Job better not be finished. What's there to be happy about, bro? Not with that front line. Was Zubimendi going to be finishing the chances that were falling to Kai Havertz? Maybe Zubimendi's going to pop up in that Declan Rice position. You guys need attackers, man. You guys need attackers. So I like the fact that Arsenal are showing aggression. I like the fact that they're moving early, because I feel in the last few windows they haven't been doing that enough. It's good that they're moving quick with this. Yeah. But if that attacker doesn't come along, and I'm talking not just any attacker, don't be bringing me like, I don't know, some reject from Chelsea again. I'm talking an elite level, big name, all world attacker, center forward, left winger. If that's not coming, you can bring me all the Zubimendis you want, bro. Nothing's changing at Arsenal. That's just the way I view it.
Yeah, Arsenal definitely need an attacker, obviously, but it's like they're spending 51 million on Zubimendi, so that's 51 million. I mean, to get a big striker, what are you looking at? 100?
Well, yeah.
Damn.
Well, according to reports, PSR-wise, financially-wise, they're in a healthy position. They didn't spend that much.
Nobody got charged.
Huh?
No, nobody in the Premier League got charged with PSR. It just got announced today. Huh. Everyone's safe.
We live to see another day, man. Got this. But yeah, no, but they're in a healthy position. Okay, we didn't get charged either, but we're not in a healthy position financially. Arsenal can spend money.
Yeah.
And you're talking about £100 million, rightfully so, bro. You spent £100 million on Declan Rice. You spent, what, 70 million, 65 million on Kai Havertz. Yeah, you want the big attackers, go spend the money, man.
Yeah, first.
Next subject. Let's move to Spain.
España.
You watched the Super Cup?
I actually ended up only catching the highlights because I was at the at the game, innit?
Oh
So,
yeah. I
and-
watched
and
that game.
caught
I
the
watched that
highlights in
game.
the end, yeah.
Mbappe had Barca shook for 5 minutes.
I heard that he played well though. Actually,
he was probably their best player, bro.
yeah. Was it like, oh, he's the only one that tried vibes, or did he actually have a good game?
Oh, he had a good game. He was linking
Okay,
up play
fair
well. He had a few shots on target. He was
Yeah.
taking on his man. He scored a great goal, to be honest with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mbappe played a good game, bro. And like when he scored in 5 minutes, I was like, oh, it's his revenge game. Because, bro.
You see, I
He's-
got you there.
Yeah, but his was like, I'm leading your son, bro. Like, scored 5, the team lost. But you know what it was? Mbappe, I know, bro, had that game circled on his calendar ever since the first one. Because of how badly the first one went, I know he was thinking, like, the next time I play Barcelona,
He
Bro.
made history that last game. Remember?
Yeah, no,
8 offsides.
he made it's a historically bad game, bro. That's the history he made. It's an all-time bad game from an all-timer. But I know he was thinking, next time I play Barca, oh, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. In fact, he was making some great runs this game. I know he was working on his game. He's looking at the mirror. I'm him, bro. I got it. But bro, Barca, man.
Why do they always smash Real Madrid though?
It's never the other way. Real Madrid never
Why
like
did-
get their licks on them. They beat them, but they never
Yeah.
like. I think they beat them 4-0 recently with Benzema scoring a hat
Mm.
trick. Outside of that, it's always Barca. Like if Barca beats them,
They have to smash them.
half
innit?
the time it's by like 4 or 5.
Yeah, what the hell is going on? Like, why is that the case? It's so weird. So weird. They just love scoring bare goals.
You know they could have scored 8 this game.
Is it,
They got
yeah?
a red card and after like 55, 60 minutes, the goalkeeper, so they went down to 10 men. And then after that, Real Madrid, they scored the free kick, and then they started having more possession. If that game finished 11-11, Cam, I promise you, Barcelona scored 7. I promise you.
That's insane. What happened? What's going on with Real Madrid though?
I think it's Ancelotti, man.
You think so?
I think Ancelotti cannot get the best out of this team. That's nothing against Ancelotti. I don't think.
But where are they in the league right now?
No, they're first, bro. I get that,
is
but
insane,
he's
innit?
getting out-coached so badly in some. Bro, like Hansi Flick has schooled him twice now, bro.
Yeah.
He's schooled him twice.
Yes,
And this
yes.
year, right? I hate the individual brilliance argument that always gets used about Ancelotti.
Yeah.
But I think genuinely this season,
They're second now, actually.
yeah, because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
another team in Spain that are doing crazy. I hate the individual brilliance argument about Ancelotti because I think it's overplayed. But I think this season you can genuinely make the argument that his players are kind of bailing him out. He's had bad injuries. Defensively, they have Carvajal's out for the year. They're playing Tchouaméni at center back. But I think, bro, his lineups, the way he set up Real Madrid to fail, bro. This game, honestly, bro, the reason it could have been 7, Real Madrid were so open in transition. The midfield was completely vacated. Vinicius and Mbappe, for me, were completely isolated up front. I think tactically, bro, they just got outplayed. And I'm looking at Ancelotti now, and I'm like, you're a legendary coach. You've done amazing things. Last year, you for me, it was one of his best coaching jobs. I didn't think so. But this year, bro, I don't think you're the best man to take this group forward. And I think that's fine. That's the case
Alonso?
sometimes. I don't know. That's the next question, but
Apparently, they'll keep him if he wins the Champions League. Or they
Ancelotti.
win. Yeah, that's the only way they'll keep him. Apparently.
and the thing with Real is they have a bogey team. Barca is their bogey team. That doesn't mean that if they don't play Barca, they can still beat most teams in Europe when everyone's on it. But I don't think it's gonna happen this year, man.
You think he'll stay?
No, I don't think Real Madrid will win the Champions
Oh,
League
you
this
don't
year. And
think
if that's
so?
the case, I don't think he'll be in a job next year. But on the flip side, talking about managers, Hansi Flick knows how to play against Ancelotti,
Yeah,
bro.
bro, innit? He does, innit? It does, but they need to get that back in the league, mate,
Oh my
because they've dropped
goodness
off.
Gracious, I think they wish they could play Real Madrid every week, man.
Mate.
Genuinely, that front 3, bro, were so good. Lewa, Rafinha,
They needed
Yamal.
Lamar back. They needed Yamal back fully fit, man.
youngest in
because-
charge.
Bruh, youngest in charge, man. Because listen, look at the way their form dropped without him.
Yeah.
He came back. Obviously, he would have taken a while to get back up to speed. They dropped a few points with him in there as well. But look at the impact he makes when he's at his top form. I mean, I saw a little match comp of him, and I'm just like, this guy's doing it on the biggest stages consistently now, man. It's actually incredible. It's actually incredible. Obviously, Loa getting his goal.
Yeah. He had
Rafinha
I think Lewa had a nice pass to
Yeah.
the Yamal goal as well too. And Rafinha,
carrying
bro.
on his potential
We're gonna talk
Ballon
about
d'Or
Yamal,
charge, yeah?
of course. Right? We're gonna talk about Yamal, but Rafinha, bro, is someone I think who's going completely under the radar this year. And I think the reason why is because in the Prem he wasn't like elite. Like we all thought he was a good player, but he wasn't elite. So when he's doing it at Barca, I almost feel like Prem fans look at that and say, yeah, he's doing it in La Liga, but we saw him in the Prem. But he's a different player now, bro. He's older.
for Leeds.
He's got the armband on him now. He's playing on a different coach. He's matured now. Bro, Rafinha is legitimately one of the best players in the world. Like, I'm talking top 10 players in the world. Well, this season, He's a top 5 player in the world this year, bro. But in general, I think you could genuinely make the argument. Rafinha is one of the 10 best players in the world.
This season, 100%.
No, I think overall, this season for me, he's top 5. Overall, bro, he's one of the best players in the world. But because he never did it, like he never went to Chelsea or Arsenal, he's playing at Leeds. I think people look at him and it's like, yeah, it's his first year really doing it and stuff like that. But nah, he's just a damn good player, man. The way he ripped apart Real Madrid's defenders, the way this season, bro, his creative numbers for Barca are amongst the best in Europe. He's one of the best chance creators in all of Europe.
I mean, the proof's in the puds then, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Crazy
Because
player.
he's on a Ballon d'Or shot. Listen, there's been many players that have come from other leagues. Thierry Henry came from Serie A and tore it up, and he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? What?
Juve Monza fans are looking at Henry and saying, Prem's washed, bro. He couldn't do it against us, bro.
So, listen.
Listen, Prem, go battles between two Serie A dudes.
Like, for real, though. Like, not saying that Rafinha didn't do in the league, but like, there's many guys. Look at Torres. Look at the leap Torres made from Atleti. He was very good at that. He was good at Atleti, obviously, to get signed, but he went nuclear at Liverpool for a bit. Mo Salah, very good at Roma and Fiorentina. So he was like stepping up, but then he went nuclear at Liverpool. So you know what I mean? You can go elsewhere and go and do your thing. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Bro,
so that shouldn't be something that you're on. I do get it sometimes. Like sometimes you look at it and you're thinking, okay, there's some players that they could have been like Aspas. Do you know what I mean? He came Prem and he was awful, and he went back La Liga and was like a king again. I was like,
he's a king in Celta Vigo, but Aspas has never been considered like one of the best 5 players in La Liga. Rafinha is genuinely, bro, one of the best players in La Liga right now. He's one of the best players there.
No, 100%.
But yeah, I mean, Yamal has to be the topic here, bro. It's like you said, like he's just come back, and Barca's season just got back on track. He scored against Bilbao, played amazing against them, and then again this game.
I feel like now it's crazy because, and I know it's like, nah, maybe I'm just saying it, but I feel like now we're actually normalizing a 17-year-old doing this. We can't be normalizing this.
It's not
bro.
normal. It can never be. It can never be allowed to
You know what it is, right? So, when we watch Yamal, obviously in your head you're always thinking, wow, he's 17, blah 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 blah. But then obviously then you just kind of get used to how good he is. And do you know what really just sparked my mind again? That Rio kid playing for Liverpool and how everyone's talking about him. He had a few dribble and stuff. Amazing. I'm super happy for his debut, etc. Because I've heard about him in the youth team. Very good. But then we're like, wow, he's 16. And I just sat there like, Yamal destroyed the Euros at the same age as Rio.
That's the levels.
Like, bro, it's just re-sparked my mind again that this guy's 17 now. And he's going against Real Madrid, the Champions League winners, and he's making it look easy. You know, Yamal has beat and scored, I believe, in every game he's played against Mbappe. Yo, chains are getting snatched out here, bro.
Is that true? No, I don't think that's true. Because
the last
PSG Barca last year, I don't think he scored against them. No, I think he assisted.
Is it?
I think he assisted that game for Rafinha. Maybe he scored or
Let me
assisted.
have a look.
No, I don't. No,
Did they win though? Barcelona won.
No, they lost the return leg. Remember, bro? And then he got taken off for a red card.
Yeah, that was so not his.
And then even in the first game, I think he assisted.
Didn't he score that game?
No, he assisted Rafinha, I believe. Yeah, he assisted Rafinha.
Yes, because he cut Nuno Mendes and then got taken. I think that should be kind of void. That should be kind of void.
That's what I'm telling you, bro.
That should be kind of void. But
I got mine, bro.
But even so, all right, let's say the last 3 games, right, that Lamine Yamal and Mbappe have faced each other.
Yeah.
I've only looked at one guy and said, this is the best player on the pitch, mate. This is the best talent on the pitch. And it's Yamal. And Mbappe, we know what Mbappe is, but the France game, the game earlier in the season, and this one, I'm looking at Lamine Yamal like, listen, when is it time to start calling him potentially numero uno in world football, bro?
Now.
You think he's the best?
Now, no, you said the conversation. There is a conversation to be had that he's the best player in the world. 1,000%. Now, people will have all their... And I'm not saying he's outright number one. What Salah's doing right now, I know people are going to throw Salah in there. Rightfully so. The numbers are crazy. Vinicius, he had a horrible game against Barcelona, but his last calendar year was sensational. There's so many brilliant players. I'm not going to name every single one of them. But he sits with all of them. Whether you think he's number one or not, whether you have your preference or not, Lamine Yamal sits with all of them and can order his own plate, and it's just as big as everybody else's. He is in the conversation for best player in the world. If the Ballon d'Or ended today, the voting, he would be on that podium.
Ooh, podium.
Yes, he would. He's one of the 3 best performers this year, bro, for sure. In my opinion, that's not even a hot. That's a fact. He'd be on the podium today.
Who would be on the podium?
Probably Salah, maybe Rafinha, and then Yamal. He'd be there. And that's taking into account form. That's taking into account performances, numbers, quality. Every metric you want to look at it, Yamal checks it. Then you add the fact that he's 17 years old.
Yeah.
We're watching a special player. And I make sure, bro, because throughout my life of watching football, there's been players that at the time, maybe I looked at them and I was younger, right? I hold an agenda. He's not really for me or whatever. And like, maybe at times I've kind of like, I don't know, I've regretted because like I didn't enjoy them in the moment. With Yamal, I'm making sure. I like him anyways. I love the way he plays. He's fun. He's carefree. He gives me a little Neymar vibes at times in terms of like how he just wants to make things happen. But even if I didn't, I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, I think you're destined for greatness. Let me just sit back and enjoy everything that I'm watching, bro. I don't want to honestly let a minute pass when I'm watching Lamine Yamal play and not appreciate what I'm watching.
That's the thing. Like the thing that we just gotta hope for him is that he doesn't burn out. You think that you gotta hope for him is that that injuries don't become a proper long-term thing. And also it's that freedom that he plays with, that smile, that like enthusiasm. You just hope that remains the case. And I saw after the game, he had the little stereo, he's dancing. You just hope that stays in him. He doesn't become overcoached. He doesn't try to simplify his game. You just be who you want to be. And the thing is, right, another thing is, and it might be the same case with Mbappe. We'll see. Mbappe's steadily improving. But it's like, in 10 years, he's 27. So in 10 years, when he gets to 27, and he might not, we don't know. Not everyone can do what Messi did and be a wonder kid and then a GOAT and then this by 30, whatever. In 10 years, we have to remember, Lamine Yamal has been playing top level football since 16. And I'm not talking about, he made the first team. And no, he was bodying Euros at 16. In 10 years, he'll be 27. For me, he needs to win everything by 27. For me, he needs to win everything.
What's that?
Ballon d'Or.
No, but for what? You're saying he needs to?
For me, he needs to win everything to fully be able to say, because what can happen, right, is that you get to 25, 26, 27, and people start being like, oh, he's slowing down. He's got no longevity to his game.
But hold on, you're saying he needs to win all of this in order to do what?
To be in those conversations as
the
greatest
the greats of all times.
The trajectory that people were talking about with Mbappe.
Oh, you're saying for him to be like Messi, like in terms
never
of like
Messi,
the stratospheres of those players.
Yeah. For me, in the next 10 years, because you don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I didn't articulate it properly. Let me say what I'm trying to say. When you're a wonder kid, it's not easy to go and be a wonder kid and then so good at 35, 34. You get where I'm coming from? Only some people have done that when you played at the level that Lamine Yamal is playing at now. So in the next 10 years, what I'm saying is potentially for his body, potentially for burnout, potentially for that stuff, he will want to win everything within the next 10 years. Because you can get to 27 years old and all of a sudden he's slowed down and people start saying, what are we saying about Mbappe? Oh, damn, he peaked at 19.
I told you in the summer, Mbappe has to win he has to win Ballon d'Ors in the next few years.
In the next 10 years.
He's behind schedule. Yeah, of course.
What we say about Hazard was playing top level football from 17, who became washed at 28, and he's been told he's got no longevity.
Yeah, sure.
That's 10 years. and that's what's going to happen. If Mbappe started, declining a little bit now, we'll probably start saying, no longevity. The guy was playing 18 years old, 17 years old, nearly 10 years again. So for me, in the next 10 years, you know what I mean? I need a Ballon d'Or, I need a Champions League, I need a World Cup, everything.
World Cup is difficult, but everything else...
I think with Spain, the way they go, they can win.
It's difficult because it's so hard to predict.
For sure.
Like, who knows who produced... But everything else, playing for Barca in the form that he's in, bro, he might do all of that this year, bro. What the hell? He might do all of that bar the World Cup this year, bro.
That's the thing, like, honestly, man. That's what you got to do, man, because it's mainly burnout that I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a factor that nobody kind of gives Mbappe. He must have a lot of minutes on the clock as well.
You know what
man.
It is? Because I said the other day, bro, he looks heavier to me, and someone replied to me, but he hasn't had any injuries. And I didn't really know what to say back to that. But
but the thing is, it's your man body, bro.
No, that's true as well.
No. Look at yourself at 18. No, I'm not saying you're fat or nothing. But I'm just saying. Hey,
look at you at 18.
No, look at ourselves at 18. You'll look at it and you'll be like, bro, my face was skinny.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You develop into your man body.
That's true. But also what you just said as well too, bro, it's mileage on the clock as well too. He doesn't have to break his leg to get slower, bro. When you play from 17 to now you're 26 and at the speed and the intensity, bro, you are gonna slow down a little bit.
Yeah, so that's why I'm hoping. You know, Messi completed the game, but okay, it's not a World Cup. World Cup, you're right. Maybe that's difficult. It's every 4 years as well. Very hard. But Messi, the game was finished by 27. What he was doing repeats. You know what I mean? He's lapping the game.
It's like
now.
you finished the game. And it's like you started over again.
Start again, yeah. You know, Ronaldo, these guys, they were like, they're now like repeating the game. So that's what we need from Lamine Yamal, man.
But you know what? You made a point about I hope he doesn't get overcoached or whatever. Impossible. Because you know what it is? He's too good.
Yeah.
Like, you overcoach players that you think have limitations.
Yeah.
Who's going to overcoach Lamine Yamal?
Yeah,
like, actually, I want you close. Like, no one's going to overcoach him. As long as he's the best player on the pitch, as often as he is, every coach that comes in is just going to be like, oh, I live and die by this guy.
Yeah. One other thing I'm hoping I heard him say I need to score more goals. It's understandable. I'm just hoping it's still in your fashion. I hope he doesn't like now just focus on becoming.
But you know, since he said that, I think he scored like, I think he scored like 3 or 4 goals since he said that statement, bro. So he's like, I took that seriously, bro. Yeah. The goal he scored too, bro.
Yeah, that was lovely, bro.
You know, they were saying, for me, it reminded me of Robin, bro. I'll be real. Like, they were saying Messi. It reminded me of Robin against Spain. I remember in 2014 where he just cut in. Just took his time and then just fired.
Oh, yeah, but they were scrambling. He was like running past the key. He was like past the keeper.
Yamal would almost feel like he was like just like skipping.
Yeah, but the thing about Lamine Yamal is like the reason why, like, look, again, I always say I struggle. Yes, at 17 years old, what Lamine Yamal is doing is probably the best things that I've seen. You know what I mean? From 16 to 17, I haven't seen Messi even do this. I haven't seen anybody really do what he's doing, right? However, I will always struggle to put anyone next to Messi because I've seen the final outcome of Messi and it's too good, right? But the way that goal, for example, to do that, it's the way he passed it. You know, Messi just passes it. That's the one thing about Messi. All you man can smash it and get. Messi used to just like pass it. And I used to look at it like, how is the keeper not getting? Like,
that's
the guy hasn't even got
stretching, bro.
Yeah, the guy
just like guided it. Bro.
He just passed it into the net, and it just felt like Messi. And it's like now I'm just getting to the stage where it's like, hurry up and give this man his 10, bro. Let's get things going now, bro. You know what I mean? Let's get things going, bro. What are we gonna go LY10, bro? Let's get it going, man. Let's not waste time, bro.
Man. You're a
good dude, bro. But Lamine Yamal is living what I don't want to say what you should have. You got injuries, but it's the reality, man. Let's just get this marketing on the road now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
They even got him the new F50s, bro.
Those
are Messi's boots, bro.
Yeah,
they look like Messi's boots.
The lineage, man. What is it? Romario, Maradona, Ronaldinho. Did R9 wear 10? I don't think R9 wear 10.
No. 9 for Barca.
Messi, Raquelme was in there. He's lucky because he became a legend. But Raquelme, and let's come on now. Let's give it for the next 10 years. Let's get Lamine number 10. Let's go, man.
It, bro. Oh, what a performance! What a player, man. I could talk about that. And you know, I was saying it on stream after I watched that game. I was like, when I talk about Lamine Yamal, I feel like my vocabulary isn't enough. Like the words I'm using to describe him, I don't feel like they actually like he merits them. Like I'm saying, oh, he's great, he's amazing. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing him justice, bro. Like what I'm watching is something I've never seen before. Like we always say it, like have you seen players? Like one of the prompts for this was, is he the best 17-year-old you've ever seen? I've never seen a 17-year-old look as comfy as he does at this level, bro.
He's the
best
in
my life.
He's the best for me. You got to think like. I know people, you know, Wayne Rooney made his debut at 16 and was good, but
still really raw, bro.
Yeah, Rooney, it's not even only that. Like, unfortunately for him, not his fault, but he was playing for Everton.
That's true.
He was playing for Everton. He was battling week in, week out. He wasn't doing.
But even at the Euros with England, right? He was amazing. He was amazing. Yeah, but he was 18. Fair. He was amazing. Yeah. Like, we argue he was the best player at that tournament. Yeah. But didn't you feel like he was still raw? And maybe it was his style as well too.
It's his style. He was always rough around the red. He's bullish.
But that's the thing. Yamal is just so polished, bro. Every part of his game already looks so clean at this age, bro. Like you can't really see any flaws.
He's definitely the best 17-year-old I've seen.
Yeah,
like, I 17 years old. Come on, man.
That's
like
crazy,
he's the best 17-year-old I've seen. Like now going on to become a Messi, going on to become a Ronaldo and R9 and all this type of stuff. That's another discussion. But is he the best 17-year-old that I've seen play football? 100%. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see Pele. You know what I mean? Which is the other person
You
that
didn't
everyone
see
puts. Nah.
I just
Actually,
missed
wait.
that one.
I did actually at the World Cup. Only at the World Cup.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
only at the World Cup.
Which one were you talking about? 1970?
Yes.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah,
No,
makes
not the last one. His first one.
Oh, 58.
Yes.
You were there.
Yeah. 17. He was 17.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
I only
Nah.
saw 62.
That one was good. He also scored in the final as well.
Mm.
Amazing. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Amazing. So, but other than him, other than Pele, I haven't seen any 17-year-old that's good, man. Honestly.
All right. Let's get to Barca real quick, just because this was the other question. Who has the brighter future between themselves and Real Madrid? It's tough to say. It's really tough to say.
The thing is, right, the way Barcelona's is, because the Barcelona have La Masia,
Yeah.
it seems in the term like they have a better future because it's homegrown products. They're all going to grow together in a way. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to see who's going to be at the level to be legendary or that are going to have to leave. But you're looking at it more in a way of how you discuss future. That's how you discuss it. A band that come together, bunch of young lads, they're going to grow together and all of a sudden it's takeoff. But that's how it should be on paper. But I think it's still Real Madrid.
Can I ask you this? Let me rephrase
I think
it.
it's still Real Madrid.
Let me rephrase it. Let's imagine Barcelona never produce another player again.
Okay.
Real Madrid never go and buy another player again. Let's say the squads that they have together is the squad that they have. For all of a sudden, every team's embargoed from doing transfers. The next 5 to 10 years, whose future is better with this squad? Because let's not forget, Real Madrid have Endrick.
Yeah.
They got Arda Güler as well, too.
Yeah.
They got that Raul Asensio kid in the bag. Like, they got some good young players as well, too.
I would say just for the makeup of the way their squad is at the moment, I would say then, if that's the question, I would say Barcelona. Because I think the way... but Loa is 37.
Yeah. Okay.
Loa is 37.
They
They can't keep him for next 6
Let me make a
years.
news scenario.
Yeah. Loa is 37. So actually, it would be Real Madrid because still Mbappe's good age, Vinny's good age, Jude Bellingham could continue to develop. This guy's
That's
21
true.
years old.
We're looking at these guys
Arda
as
Güler,
champions,
Endrick.
so we don't look at them as young players.
Exactly.
Jude Bellingham
So
is 21 years
21
old.
years old, bro. So I still look at Real Madrid as that one because I think Real Madrid also, they have the financial muscle. They have the ambition of the owner. We don't know what Laporta, we don't know what Barcelona are going to do. All of a sudden, levers and this and that. We don't really know with the future of Barcelona. Barcelona tomorrow could turn around and just be like, hey, we got to sell our best product. Yeah. And then we got no money, we have to sell. So we don't really know because of the club side of things. But in terms of just like, if I was to write down, hey, here's a future project, I would want it to look like, in a way, like how Barcelona's is looking, homegrown, like academy, best talent in the world in Lamine. Like, wow, this is going to be great. But then at the same time, Real Madrid have never given a damn about that type of prototype. I don't even... Is this Asensio, guys, at the first academy product I've seen in Real Madrid?
It's out of necessity, by the way. It's out of necessity because they have so many
exactly.
injuries,
So, but them, you know, they're going to be like, who's the best young talent? Oh, yeah, come Real Madrid. Yeah, I need the best centre back. Oh, Saliba. Yeah, come Real Madrid. So, I think Real Madrid will always be Real Madrid for that.
You know that guy City just signed, or they're gonna sign him for like Paulo Vitor, whatever that guy's
right,
name.
Rice. Yeah.
I was actually thinking, I was like, Brazilian center back prodigy. Like Barcelona would have signed him 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I promise you, Barca would have signed that guy 10 years ago. Bro. They used to have the Brazilian market on lock, bro.
Real Madrid started trying to take that market.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that guy just screams to me. I don't know why. Like 2011, 12 times Barca would have bought him. Yeah.
Boy, now City are diving into that. What is Savio? They got
Gabriel Jesus from
Palmeiras. Yeah, they got this Donny.
No, but at least Savio was almost like the ideal. He's like the poster boy of the City youth
group.
project, basically, because he was at Troyes, and then he went to Girona, and now he's at Man City. But like these guys, they're getting him straight from the plug, bro. These guys going straight to Palmeiras and say, "Let me get these guys."
Yeah, facts.
Last question for you. Actually, well, I want to talk about that thing at the end, but last question right now. If you had to choose one club to kind of rise as the best club in the world right now, the best football team on the planet right now, who would you say? I'll give you mine first.
All right.
I think it's Liverpool still. I do think it's Liverpool. Now, last few weeks, they drew to United. They lost to Spurs in the first leg. But I still think when I look at that attacking depth, when I look at the coach's versatility, I think... Arne Slot has so many different ways of kind of lining up his team and choosing different weapons to hurt you. He can switch it up mid-game as well, too. You look at the X factor in certain players like your Van Dijks, your Trents, Alisson, Salah. I still think at the moment it is Liverpool. However, I don't think it's like by far, because I think there's a few damn good teams out there. What do you think?
You know what? You went Liverpool, but the question is, who's the best team in the world right now?
Yeah.
I think we have to look at Atletico Madrid. I think we have to look at Atletico. Sorry. Let me say that again. I don't know why I said Atletico Madrid. I mean, you went Liverpool, but I think right now, the question is, who's the best team in the world right now? Overall, maybe season, you can say Liverpool. But for me right now, it's Atletico Madrid. I mean, they've won 14 games in a row. 14 games in a row, bro. 35 goals, 8 conceded. And that's across multiple competitions. That's in La Liga, which they're now first, right? Clawed back Real Madrid, clawed back Barcelona, and have had big wins in that as well. That's winning in the Champions League. They're 4 wins, 2 losses. And that's also winning in the Copa del Rey as well. So when I look at Simeone, what he's doing every year, like there comes a point where you kind of think, mate, have you kind of reached your end at this club? Maybe let's go see you at another club. And it's like, no, we're about to reinvent the wheel. And the way that they're doing it, it's impressive for me. It's the solidity. It's the old school Simeone in terms of we're not going to concede goals. We're still going to be one of the hardest teams to play in world football. So that's the thing that I'm super impressed about. And I just looked at their goal scoring list. You know, their top goal scorer, how many goals he's got?
Not that many.
8 goals.
This is what I told you the other day, Cam. They have the best bench in world football at the moment. Like, they use their bench. Like, they bring guys on in the 60th minute, and it's like a whole different attack. And I told you that. And then the next week they played Barca. Molina comes on. Sorloth comes on. Molina assist. Sorloth goal. Yeah. They get goals from all over their team.
That's the thing. So
who's their top scorer?
Is it Griezmann? It's
Sorloth. He doesn't start for them, bro. Sorloth is not a starter for them, bro. He doesn't start every single game for them.
Let me confirm.
Alvarez and Griezmann start, bro.
Yeah, Sorloth with 8 goals.
That's crazy.
Alvarez with 6 and Griezmann with 7. So it just shows that this is a full team effort. Amazing what Liverpool are doing. But Salah's giving you 30 GA already. Yeah, he's got like these guys are a team. Defensively and offensively, everything that they're doing at the moment is a team effort. And I just think if I was seeing someone do 14 wins in a row and they were playing in England, would hands down say they're the best team in the world right now. So I got to give respect to what Atleti are doing. I think right now, as we speak, they're the best team in the world.
I give them a big shout as well, too. I would give a shout to Inter. I think Inter are, you talk about well-oiled machine. You talk about a team. Napoli, yeah. You know what it is, though, of Napoli and with Antonio Conte? I'm always hesitant. I don't know, like...
Not in Italy, man.
To be fair...
Don't doubt him in Italy, bro.
I was going to say, like, long-term, is Napoli going to last? Especially if they're losing Kvaratskhelia, which is, for me, still crazy. But Napoli are a great team. Atalanta are a damn good team as well, too. But I just think Inter are the best. They're the best that Serie A have to offer, bro. In terms of a team, in terms of a well-oiled machine, they have better players, in my opinion. Bastoni, I think, is one of the best center backs in the world. Di Marco is one of the best players in his position. And you talk about big games when they show up. I know they lost to Milan the other week, coincidentally, but they drew to City this year. They went and beat who this year? Inter. They beat Arsenal. I honestly think Inter could play any team in the world, and they would give them a damn good game. Because I don't think Inzaghi is capable of being outcoached. Yeah. Like, you can beat them, but you can't outcoach Inzaghi.
I think that's becoming the case with a few teams now. I think, like, do we have a team, maybe you can say Liverpool, they've won 6 in a row in the Champions League, which is amazing. But do we have a team that's peak Barca team? Do we have a peak Bayern team? Do we have a peak City team? Do we have a peak... We don't have them legendary teams at the moment. So I think there's now, if you're looking at this Champions League, there's going to be some interesting draws, man. Like, Atleti can go and beat anyone. Inter can go and beat anyone. Liverpool can go and beat anyone. Like, it's good. These games are now going to be so close. Yeah. So close. Real Madrid, we give them that Champions League respect, but they can be beat by anybody.
They don't win the Champions League every year, bro. Like,
exactly. Like,
they don't win it.
Barcelona can draw them and beat them. Like, it's going to be very, very interesting. This Champions League is going to be mad up in the air. I don't think it's going to be a final that anyone can predict. I think people are probably going to think right now, oh, it's going to be an Atleti-Liverpool final. I don't think you can just say that. Atleti can easily go and lose to Inter Milan. You know, they did last season, right? Yeah. So there we go. So, but one thing, I know this is about who's the best team, but I want to actually quickly ask a question, right? Is what Juventus are doing this season the weirdest thing you've ever seen from a football team, bruv? 7 wins, 12 draws, 0 losses.
That's
Like,
just
what?
like that's crazy.
What?
That's crazy. You know, I was actually with a Juve
They're
fan.
4 losses. They have like Lazio, are 4th with 11 wins.
Yeah.
They're 5th with 7 wins.
Yeah.
They've got less wins than Fiorentina.
Now Serie A is crazy this year, bro.
Bro,
That's the craziest league in Europe right now.
this doesn't make sense. 0 losses.
Yeah. You know,
12
they're
draws.
one of 2 teams to still be unbeaten right now in the league. You know,
Is this the ugliest unbeaten record you've ever seen?
Yes.
This is the
Yes,
worst.
but you know how
unbeaten record.
everyone always tries to which I think is ridiculous, but everyone tries to downplay the Invincibles record, like, oh, you shouldn't be celebrated for not drawing because you could draw every single game and go Invincible and get relegated.
You know what the
This is like that reality. This is like all those people that used to say that. That's actually what's happening right now.
But the funny thing is, they would have to win every single game now to be the Arsenal's Invincibles.
Yeah.
Deep it.
Crazy.
They would have to win every single game from now to the end of the season.
They don't look like they can win a game right now.
They're not going
I was
to.
I was with a Juve fan yesterday. Shout out Luca. He was telling me basically like it's the weirdest season for them, right? Because like you're undefeated.
Yeah.
If you tell someone by January you wouldn't have lost the game, they would snatch your hand off for them.
Bruv.
And yet right now people are saying Mota, his future is under.
14
Bro, they're
points off.
selling players. These guys are flops. It's so bizarre, bro. It's so bizarre.
It's so weird because his Bologna team they were quite exciting. There were
Yeah.
people looking at it like, oh, there's players that can be signed from there. And then all of a sudden he goes to Juventus and it's...
You know what it is? A lot of the players that they signed haven't really worked out. I think Koop Miners has kind of been a big disappointment. They signed him from Atalanta, and I can't lie, Atalanta are turning into that team, bro. Stop buying players from them because I think Gasperini might just turn wine into water into wine, bro. I think there might be Atalanta. No, I think there might be Atalanta.
Tax.
Bro, the Cataler went to Milan. He looked like a scrub. He went to Atalanta. He starts banging. Like
Superstar, yeah.
honestly, I think that might be a team where Gasperini just juices your transfer value
Yeah.
up. Douglas
crazy.
Luiz has gone to Juve, bro. They want him out. Like he can't buy a game over
Yeah.
there, bro. Vlahovic has just never he's still unable to kind
Yeah.
of reach the potential he showed at Fiorentina. Yeah, Juve are a weird team,
Crazy.
man.
Napoli have won their last 5 games in a row. Inter have won their last 5 games in a row. Then you got Juventus, 4 draws in their last 5 games. Bro.
You know who the other team in Europe to still be undefeated right now in the league is? In top 5 leagues.
Obviously, it's not Prem. Obviously, okay, we already said Inter. We already said Italy. It's not in Spain. France or Germany? Why am I leaning towards... Nah, because I feel like they would have been speaking about it. It's not Leverkusen, is it?
Imagine
Is it-
Leverkusen
yeah,
or
is it
still.
PSG?
It is PSG.
It's PSG.
PSG are undefeated in the league, bro.
That's kind of going under the radar.
Yeah,
PSG are undefeated.
PSG are undefeated in the league. They're not having a great.
And they're
cha-
getting Kvara.
Yeah, but they're not doing great in Europe right now, man. They're not doing great in Europe. They are top of the league right now. They're
Yeah,
undefeated.
they're going to win that comfortably.
They are one of 2 teams still undefeated. The other one is Juve. That is absolutely crazy.
Marseille are doing their thing as well, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Final question for you. This is like off the record, not off the record, but it's like it's not a topic we planned or whatever, but we spoke about it briefly. So there's a really interesting tweet the other day. Basically, to paraphrase what he said, the way football has evolved in 2025, a player like Ryan Cherky can now make it at a top elite level club. Basically trying to say that the game is now in a position where a maverick like that can finally now be at a top level club and thrive, which for the last, I would say 10 years hasn't really been the case because of how organized and how tactically resolute and defensive minded at times and athletic as well too football has become. But he thinks that the way it's evolving, it's now kind of given a pathway back in. And I actually think, because I've always been someone that said, I don't see the number 10 ever coming back as long as Pep's style of football is king. Just because I think like those guys are too big of defensive liabilities. And if you can get creation from all over the pitch, why would you want only one guy kind of being in charge of all of that? But what I didn't kind of take into account is that, you know, like for everything is a balance, right? Things will get too high, they'll always come back down. Things will get too low, it'll always come back down. I never really took into account that maybe football would get so tactically resolute and so like rigid and so predetermined that teams would almost just play against each other as like stalemates, basically. Like no team has a solution for the other because everyone plays the same. And it's almost kind of like made teams think, oh no, we need somebody that can unlock defenses again. And now Cherokee is a weird case because creatively, genuinely, bro, he's one of the best players in Europe in terms of creating chances, finding solutions for a team. He's a weird situation because, and I love Cherokee, and I've watched him numerous times, once in the flesh. He's a terrible athlete. Like that guy doesn't run. That guy genuinely plays at a jogging pace 65% of the game. So I don't know if he's the perfect example, but I hear it in terms of that style of player. I think that maverick kind of player that you give the ball to and he just makes magic happen. I think you could see him now in today's game, the way it's playing, find their way back at the top clubs.
I mean, they have to be a Ryan Cherokee level talent.
Yeah.
That's the difference, though. We can say players can play in that position. Are you the talent to require us? The extra man's going to have to be running for you because we know when you get the ball, you're going to do crazy stuff like that, like how it used to be with the Maverick 10s. Yeah. You've got to be a Cherokee level talent.
Yeah.
You can't just be any guy, or I'm a decent 10 and I'm nah. You've got to be like, this guy's a world level talent. His talent level is unbelievable. So you've got to be like that. So it could come back, definitely. And then I would love, bro, Ruben in that 10 role. But he said we want guys to run like mad dogs. But in them 10 roles, you want someone that's creative. You want someone that's gonna get you off your feet. You want somebody that's just gonna
find solutions.
That's just gonna find solutions, man. That's gonna do magic. That's gonna be like, yo, you're walking home. Yo, do you see when Chuck got the ball? You want that type of stuff. But as you said, you gotta have the other side of the game these days, man. The off the ball is it's always been, but it's super important in this day and age. You know what I mean? It's more important.
But you say it's a talent level thing. I don't think it's a talent level thing because I think there's like, for me, football players haven't become less talented. I think they've almost had that side.
The best of the best?
No, but what is it? Just I think it's a coaching part of it as well too. You have to encourage that kind of player. You have to give them creative freedom because
I hear that.
I don't think it's like players are incapable. Like I'm talking in the game, but I'm talking about players who are 14, 15 years old right now. They have to be encouraged to kind of play that game again because footballers not just some are born with unbelievable ability, like you say God-given ability, but I don't think footballers now come out the womb and like, they're just robots or whatever. It's grassroots football. It's the way they're encouraged to play. It's the way they're almost stifled in certain situations. They're going to have to go back to allowing them to kind of just play their own game. You're going to
always need a breakthrough. Yeah. Everything is about influence. You're always going to need somebody to break the mold. And let's say it is Cherokee. Then all of a sudden, you're going to have people at Academy saying, we're looking for our next Cherokee. And all of a sudden, now they're encouraging that. They're encouraging it. That's how football is. But if it continues the way it is, then you're not going to get Riquelmes. You're not going to get Maradonas. You're not going to get Zidanes. You're not going to do that where guys are just like, yo, I'm on the pitch to just be magical here. You're not going to get that. Yeah. I respect that Cherokee doing it. And it's a shame that we have to talk about, he's not an athlete, because let's appreciate what he does on the football.
He's a joke. You know honestly, what I mean? I hope I'm wrong, to be honest with you. And I'm saying maybe not in the Prem for like a Liverpool or someone, but he could definitely still go to a bigger club than Lyon at the moment. No disrespect. I'm saying of a Lyon thing here. You could definitely go to a bigger club and contribute at a top level, European level.
I think he's one of them ones that he's a gamble because there's, as you mentioned, off the ball, there's doubts. I don't really know, but there's some people are saying that he's not got the greatest, like in terms of like attitude. There's been a few things behind the scenes. I don't know. I saw something with his chairman talking to his about his agent and his team.
His chairman needs to focus on the finances of the club. You guys are going bankrupt.
It's something like that. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at it, I think he's one of them. He might be one of them necessary risks. Like I think when you look at Cherokee, he could be one of them players that it's like you could be a superstar, or you could go and just be a super bust. That's what it is, you know what I mean? But
that's a maverick though, man. That's a maverick, bro.
That's what Hetem Ben Arfa and them man were, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You took a chance. Who knows, man? What I think if you get
Lyon are broke right now, bro. They're 400 million pounds in debt.
And you've got a talent like that, and I'm taking the risk.
I would. Yeah.
I'm taking the risk.
I would.
Yeah, I mean, bring him to Old Trafford, man.
Yeah, why not?
You know what I'm saying? Bring him to the theater. Let's put his show on. Come to the theater, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be another episode of the Eye Test. I actually enjoyed this one, man. We went in depth with this one. Let us know what you guys think down below. As always, shout out to BR for posting our clips everywhere. X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. This is myself, Lyés, my guy, CultureCams. Let us know what you want to talk. Let us know what you want us to talk about for next week down in the comments below. See you next time. Peace.